Thank you very much. Tonight is Friday, and of course, I'm always delighted when I can come and have a few minutes to chat and talk and listen. And of course, I am alone tonight. As a matter of fact, I just got in town this morning. As a matter of fact, I stayed up practically all night last night. But I'm delighted to be here and to not be able to take any calls, but I'll be able to chat a little bit and talk a little bit. And of course, I've got my work clothes on, working for the people. How about that? Hey, those are overalls and all. But I am doing fine. I'm delighted. Actually, the reason we were able to get here this morning, and we didn't know yesterday whether or not we'd be able to do so, but we did pass a resolution which keeps the government open. See, we got all these rules and regulations, and some people think it's just, you just kind of go and do and be it. But we also have rules. And of course, the government was going to run out of the authority to spend money unless we created the authority or gave it the authority to do so. So we couldn't get a budget passed. So we don't really have a budget for the next year, but we have something called a CR, a continuing resolution. And what that means is that if you don't have a budget, you just continue to spend as you were, as you was already spending. So now if there was somebody who thought they was going to get a raise at the beginning of December, nope, no raise. No extra money put in for that. Or a new program, a new project, a new this, a new that. No, we are now operating on a continuing resolution. House passed it yesterday and the Senate passed it last night. There we are. So we're functioning. We're well. People are still working. They're still getting paid. They're still earning money. Of course, the coronavirus is still with us. There's a new variant, and it may, we don't know how effective the remedies that we've got are going to be. I've had a couple of people, one person in my office had the virus, and she's doing well, working from home. A lot of people, you just don't know when you get it, where you get it, how you get it. Well, but you know what you can do to try to not get it. One, you can get vaccinated, and two, you can wear face covering. And that means that you're not sending out anything, even when you're talking. And it also means you're not receiving what somebody else might be sending out. So just do the best you can. Follow, I got on the elevator yesterday in the nation's capital, and a couple of people got on who were not wearing a mask. They were members, and of course there were other people who asked them, would you please put your mask on? And so one fellow just got off. He didn't want to argue. He didn't want to put his mask on. So he just got off. But I don't know why it is, I really don't, that there are people who just do not want to wear a mask. But, this is the land of the free and home of the brave, and it is the land of the free, but you're free to try and protect yourself and to protect others. And I think you've got a right to do certain things, but I believe that freedom and democracy really means that my rights end where the next person's rights begin. And so I may have a right not to protect myself, but the other person has a right to be protected. But so be it. We're getting close to, we had a great Thanksgiving. I think everybody that I can run into say they had a pretty good Thanksgiving, which is wonderful. And I hope that they did. A lot of turkeys and different food and things were given away. I did not eat too much. I ate, I think, what I needed, but I don't think I overdid it. And so I feel pretty good about that. And I'm hungry right now. As a matter of fact, I can hardly wait to get out of here so I can get home and get myself a little dinner and, maybe watch the news or something on television and then prepare for a peaceful night. Go to sleep and be ready to get up in the morning and be on my way and continue to do work. Of course, there are a lot of exciting things going on this weekend. I'm going to be at the Ulich Children's Center, Ulich School, at 12 o'clock with the National Council of Negro Women. Miss Annetta Wilson and the group are having sort of a think tank discussion where we're going to be talking about a number of things. I know that I'm going to be there, and I also know that President of the Cook County Board, the Honorable Tony Preckwinkle, is scheduled to be there. And so I'm going to be talking somewhat about some of the same things that I'm talking about now. The Build Back Better, I'm going to be talking about the tremendous work that has been done. And I just hope that the Senate is going to do the same things that we've done. I'm going to read the little statement. Sometimes when we get ready to pass these major bills, you only have an hour worth of debate, and each side will get 30 minutes. And, on some committees, you got at least 25, 30, 40 people. Not everybody speaks on everything, but generally, if your committee has a major role or has had a major role in the legislation, then your committee chairman or somebody designated by the chairman will process those 30 minutes of dialogue. And here's what I said when we were passing the Build Back Better bill, because much of it came out of the committee I serve on, which is the Committee on Ways and Means. And so I said, Madam Speaker, I rise to express my strong support for the Build Back Better Act. And I commend all of those who've played roles in making it happen. Especially do I want to single out Speaker Nancy Pelosi, Chairman of Ways and Means, Richie Neal, and the entire Ways and Means Committee and staff. Build Back Better seriously helps reduce long-standing poverty among children. Which children? All children, especially black and brown children, poor children, children of low-income parents, and disadvantaged children. It reduces poverty for 4 million children. That's pretty good stuff. Build Back Better will reduce homelessness and housing instability. It will provide health coverage to 2 million people who don't have it. 2 million, that's a lot of people. Some of those are people who live in Chicago, but they live in other places as well. Build Back Better will provide preschool programs to children of working families across America. It will reduce hunger among children. And of course, black children are disproportionately helped. Build Back Better has serious workforce development help for individuals with criminal records. You wouldn't believe it, but there are about 100 million people in the United States who have criminal records. 100 million. That's a lot of people. Many of these are minor records, but even with minor records, individuals have barriers that makes it difficult for them to live a decent life. They can't get a job. They can't access certain kind of benefits. They can't live in public housing. They can't use grants to go to college. And so all of those are problems. So Build Back Better has serious workforce development help for individuals with criminal records. Build Back Better makes college more affordable by restoring Pell Grants, helping low and moderate income students pay for college, and investing directly in HBCUs. Those are historically black colleges and universities. PBIs, those are predominantly black institutions, and other minority serving institutions such as HSIs, Hispanic serving institutions, and Asian Pacific serving institutions. Build Back Better will not raise taxes on anyone earning less than $400,000 a year. And so obviously, this bill is good for the economy. And obviously, this bill is good for Illinois. And it's good for America. We've passed it out of the House, and we are hoping that the Senate will pass it before Christmas. And of course, the president is waiting. He's got all kind of pens on his desk, just waiting for it to get to him so he can sign it. It's one of the good things that we've done this year. And when you match that with the infrastructure bill that has passed both the House and the Senate, Illinois is going to get $17 billion out of the infrastructure money that has been approved and passed. And think of all the things that we can do with that money. We hope to use some of it to fix the Eisenhower Expressway. We hope to use some of it to improve Lake Street which is known as one of the most dangerous streets in the state of Illinois. Just not Chicago, but in the whole state. My, if you drive down Lake Street, I try my best not to drive on Lake Street. So hopefully, some of this $17 billion will be used to fix some of the streets, bridges, roads, highways, alleys, other kinds of put in broadband, all of the different kinds of help. But we also got to be alert and watchful. And we got to make sure that we get some of that money into the hands of small businesses. We got to make sure we get some of that money in the hands of African American laborers and tradesmen and contractors and engineers and planners. We got to make sure that women-owned businesses get some of that money and get the opportunity to do work. We got to make sure that small businesses, not just the big construction companies, not just the big engineering companies, but small businesses. We got to make sure that that money circulates, because money to the economy is like blood to the body. If money circulates in an environment, then you've got a healthy environment. But if too much of the money gets in the hands of too few people, it's just like too much blood being on one side of your body and not enough being on the other. And if you don't get the circulation that you need, then you got a problem. But if the money does not circulate in a community the way it needs to and the way it ought to, then you got a problem. You've got some parts of that community that are lavish with resources. You got other parts of that very same community that don't have what they need, don't have decent schools, don't have decent housing, don't have decent grocery stores to purchase food. And even if the stores existed, if you don't have decent money, you can't buy it. And so that money should be used appropriately. We are fortunate because where we're sitting right now, we've seen some redevelopment take place. I always feel good when I come to cable access because they got a new building. I always feel good because I pass right by the Miles Square Health Center, a magnificent building where I get my primary health care, but also where I used to work. Prior to running for office, I worked in health care. And I used to be president of the National Association of Community Health Centers. Started with one center in Mountain Bayou, Mississippi, the Tufts Delta Project. Now there are more than 2,000 of these centers spread throughout the country, and they provide excellent health care for between 25 and 30 million low and moderate income people. And we're fortunate because in Chicago, we have a large number of these. Just in this area alone, just on this side of town. But on other sides of town, we've got the Christian Health Center. We've got the Near North Health Center. We got the Beloved Health Center. We've got the Access Health Centers. We've got the PCC Wellness Care. We've got Esperanza. We've got Alvisio. And so these are public dollars working for us, working for you. And yes, I am pleased and proud to know that I've had a role to play in doing that. I've had a role to play in helping develop these centers and programs and the appropriation of the billions of dollars that it takes and the billions of dollars, and making sure, hopefully, that we get the benefit from our tax dollars that are used to construct these facilities and pay for the doctors. So it's been a good week. I always look forward to the Yuletide, that is the whole period between Thanksgiving and Christmas, and all the good things that go on. And you know, it's just a good time of the year. It's all the things you can feel something in the air. You hear the songs. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And you know, I have a great grandson who's 8 years old, and a great granddaughter, who is 4 years old. And I actually look forward, and of course I've got a grandson and a granddaughter. And Christmas is a time of the year that family and friends and all, some folks will be shopping from now until right up to the night before Christmas and all through the house. Not a creature will be stirring, not even a mouse. 'Cause stockings will be hung by the chimney with care, in the hope that St. Nicholas soon would be there. The children will be all nestled snug in their beds, while visions of sugar plums will be dancing in their heads. And so we've got several weeks before, but I tell you, I'm looking forward to it right now. So be good to yourself, be good to others, get as many Christmas gifts as you can get, give as many as you can give, and just have a wonderful week. Be good to yourself. And I'm going to try and make it Sunday to the memorial service for the legendary Timur Black. That's going to be at the Rockefeller Chapel out at the University of Chicago. And I couldn't think of a better place for it to be. Thanks for listening. Thanks for viewing. And hopefully, I'll see you next week.